If your VLOOKUP returns neg A, but you can literally find the value, you're not crazy. Most not matching problems come from tiny data issues that Excel treats as different. The good news is you can debug them fast with a simple checklist. First, confirm the lookup value is truly identical to what's in the table. That means the same characters, the same type, and no hidden extras. Next, confirm you're searching the correct column in the correct direction. VLOOKUP can only look to the right, so the layout matters. Then, check whether you're using exact match or approximate match. One wrong argument can change everything. In the next few minutes, you'll learn the most common failure patterns and the quickest fixes. You'll also get a couple of safer alternatives like XLOOKUP and index match. By the end, you'll know exactly where to look when VLOOKUP should work, but doesn't. Next step. Before fixing anything, lock down what VLOOKUP is supposed to do. You have a lookup value like an ID or a name. You have a table where the first column contains the key you want to match. Then you return a value from a column to the right. That's the whole contract. When it breaks, it's usually because one of those pieces isn't what you think it is. So start by reading your formula out loud. What is the lookup value cell? What is the table range? Which column index are you returning? And what is the match type argument? If you can't answer those four quickly, the formula is too opaque. Also, remember that NaSH NA means no match found, not formula is broken. That distinction matters because it pushes you toward data cleaning, not syntax tweaks. In the next scenes, we'll isolate each failure point one at a time. Next step. The fastest first test is this. Can Excel find the key at all? Use a quick check with match. Match returns the position of a value in a list. If match can't find it, VLOOKUP won't either. And if match does find it but VLOOKUP doesn't, your table range or column index is likely wrong. Another quick check is COUNTIF. If COUNTIF on the key column returns 0, the value isn't matching exactly. That points to spaces, hidden characters, or type issues. Also confirm you're not accidentally looking up a different value than you think. It's common to reference the wrong cell after copying formulas down. So verify the lookup cell for one failing row. Finally, check the table range is anchored with $signs. If your table range slides as you fill down, matches will randomly disappear. These quick tests save you from deep cleaning when the real issue is just a drifting range. Next step. A huge chunk of VLOOKUP misses are caused by invisible spaces. The value looks the same, but one cell has a trailing space or multiple spaces inside. Excel treats those as different strings. The quickest fix is trim, which removes leading and trailing spaces and collapses repeated internal spaces. If your data comes from systems that use non-breaking spaces, trim might not be enough. That's when clean and substitute help. Clean removes non-printing characters. Substitute can replace the non-breaking space character with a normal space, then trim can finish the job. A practical workflow is to create a helper column that normalizes the key. Use that helper as the lookup key, and also normalize the key column in the table. Once the match works, you can paste values to lock it in. This sounds like extra work, but it's often the fastest path when you're dealing with imported data. Next step. Another classic issue is text versus numbers. An ID might look like 001234, but one side is stored as text and the other as a number. VLOOKUP won't match them. You can test this quickly by checking whether a cell aligns left or right by default. But don't rely on that alone. Better tests are IS text and IS number. To fix it, decide what the key should be. If it's a true numeric ID, convert text to numbers using value, or multiply by 1, or use text to columns. If it's an ID that must keep leading zeros, keep it as text everywhere. In that case, convert numbers to text using text with a format like 00000. The key is consistency. Pick one type and enforce it on both the lookup value and the key column. Once you do, the mystery #NA often disappears instantly. Next step. Sometimes the mismatch is not spaces or type. It's formatting differences in dates and times. Dates are especially tricky because Excel stores them as serial numbers, but imports may store them as text. Two cells can display the same date and still not match. A quick test is to change the date format to general. If you see a serial number in one cell and a date-looking text in another, that's your problem. To convert text dates to real dates, date value can help, and sometimes combining it with value. For date times, you may need both date value and time value. Also watch out for seconds or time zones and imported timestamps. If you only care about the date, you can match on INT of the serial number to strip the time. The fix is again consistency. Convert both sides to the same underlying value before you try to match. Once the underlying values align, VLOOKUP behaves predictably. Next step. Now let's talk about the match type argument, because one wrong setting can cause silent wrong answers. The last argument in VLOOKUP is true or false. False means exact match. True means approximate match, and it assumes the first column is sorted ascending. If it's not sorted, approximate match can return the wrong row without any error. That's dangerous because it looks like it worked. For most ID lookups, you want false. If you omit the argument, Excel uses true by default, which surprises a lot of people. Approximate match is useful for things like tax brackets or grading scales, where you want the closest lower bound. But for customer IDs, invoice numbers, or SKUs, it's usually the wrong choice. So make it a habit. Explicitly set false for exact matching, unless you have a clear reason not to. That single habit prevents a lot of not matching confusion. Next step. Another failure point is the table range itself. VLOOKUP only searches the first column of the range you give it. If your key column isn't the first column, VLOOKUP can't see it. That's why people say VLOOKUP only looks right. If your return column is to the left of the key, VLOOKUP won't do it. The fix can be as simple as redefining the table array to start at the key column, or you can rearrange columns, which is sometimes risky in shared files. Also, make sure your column index number matches the range you selected. If you select 5 columns, the rightmost is 5, not the worksheet's column letter. A safer approach is to use structured references with Excel tables, because they expand automatically. But even then, the key must still be the first column in the selected range. Get the range right, and many no-match cases resolve immediately. Next step. Let's cover duplicates, because duplicates can look like not matching when it's really matching the wrong one. VLOOKUP returns the first match it finds from top to bottom. If your key column has duplicates, VLOOKUP won't warn you. It will just pick the first. That can lead to results that seem inconsistent, especially if the data order changes. The fix starts with detection. Use COUNTIF on the key column to flag keys appearing more than once. If duplicates are valid, you need a rule for which one you want. Maybe the latest date, a specific status, or the highest version number. VLOOKUP alone can't apply complex criteria. That's where helper columns come in, like concatenating key plus status, or key plus a date bucket. Or you switch to more flexible tools like XLOOKUP with search mode, or index match with additional logic. But first, confirm whether duplicates exist. That diagnosis changes the entire solution. Next step. Sometimes VLOOKUP is matching, but the result looks blank, so you assume it failed. This happens when the return cell contains an empty string from a formula like gash. It looks empty, but it's not truly blank. Another cause is leading apostrophes or hidden characters in the return column, not the key. Also check whether you're returning from the wrong column index, so you're pulling a column that happens to be empty for that row. A quick test is to wrap the VLOOKUP with len on the result. If len is 0, it's truly empty. If len is greater than 0, there's something there, even if it looks blank. You can also use n or t to see if the returned value behaves like a number or text. The fix depends on the cause. If it's an empty string, adjust the source formula. If it's the wrong column, fix the index. This is a good reminder. Not every failure is #NA. Next step. When you need the match to be resilient, add error handling, but do it thoughtfully. IFNA is great when you specifically want to catch NA and provide a fallback, like not found. If error catches everything, including real mistakes like a wrong range or a broken formula. That can hide problems you should fix. So prefer IFNA for lookup misses and only use if error when you're confident other errors are acceptable. Also consider returning something diagnostic instead of a generic message. For example, return type mismatch or check spaces only after you've tested those conditions in helper checks. That way your spreadsheet becomes self-explaining for the next person. Another smart move is to keep one raw VLOOKUP column without error handling for debugging, and a second clean output column for reporting. That separation keeps your workflow fast and your outputs tidy. Next step. If you're allowed to use newer functions, XLOOKUP is often the cleanest fix for VLOOKUP headaches. It can look left or right, so layout stops being a constraint. It defaults to exact match, which reduces accidental approximate matches, and it has built-in not found handling, so you don't need IFNA in many cases. You can also control search direction, which helps when you want the last match instead of the first. That matters with duplicates. Another strong option is index match. It's older, but very flexible, and it separates find the row from return the value. That makes debugging easier. The key point is not that VLOOKUP is bad, it's that VLOOKUP is strict about structure. When your data is messy or your layout is complex, switching tools can be faster than forcing VLOOKUP to behave. If you're stuck with VLOOKUP, the earlier checklist still applies, but if you have a choice, XLOOKUP is usually the upgrade. Next step. Let's put it all into a fast troubleshooting flow you can reuse. Step 1. Confirm the lookup value reference is correct for the failing row. Step 2. Use match or COUNTIF to prove whether the key exists in the key column. Step 3. If it doesn't exist, test for spaces and hidden characters with trim, clean, and len. Step 4. Test for type mismatches with is text and is number, and standardize to one type. Step 5. Confirm exact match mode by setting false explicitly. Step 6. Confirm the table range starts at the key column, is anchored, and the column index points to the right field. Step 7. Check duplicates if results look inconsistent. This flow is fast because each step narrows the problem. You're not randomly trying fixes. You're running a controlled diagnosis. If you adopt this as a habit, VLOOKUP stops being a source of stress. It becomes a predictable tool you can trust. Next step. One last thing that saves time. Prevent the problem upstream. If you regularly import data, build a small staging area that cleans keys automatically. Normalize spaces, remove non-printing characters, and standardize types before the data hits your main tables. If you use Excel tables, name your key columns clearly and keep them consistent across sheets. For IDs, decide early whether they are text or numbers and stick to it. When you share files, document the expected key format in a simple note, like customer ID is text 6 digits. That reduces future mismatches. And when you build lookups, prefer explicit arguments. Don't rely on defaults for match mode. These small habits turn lookups from fragile to robust. If you want, you can also create a reusable diagnostic formula set. Len checks, type checks, and a match check. That way, the next time VLOOKUP doesn't match, you'll know exactly why in seconds. If this was helpful, subscribe for more practical Excel problem solving. And in the comments, tell me which issue you hit most often, spaces or text versus number. I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.